Have you ever wondered how you can give back to Ireland without traveling to Ireland? Well, Dagdy Ivagus Falcha. Hi, hello, and welcome. Jon O'Sullivan, Irish Pagan School here. And that is quite a common question that we actually get in our community, in our TUA over here at the school. And it is because we espouse a fundamental kind of methodology of right relationship as part of our teaching and our practices. And the underlying aspect of that are kind of varied, but one of the core elements to it is appreciation, not appropriation. Now, we've done multiple other videos about it. You can search easily on YouTube there or whatever for appreciation and appropriation. But our definition is it's okay to appreciate, absolutely, to explore and to connect and to engage. But appropriation is where things become a problem, especially when we're into knowledge appropriation and cultural appropriation and any other form of appropriation. So, how do we define the difference between appreciation and appropriation? Well, appropriation, where we kind of put it, is it's, are you profiting from it? Are you in some way benefiting or profiting, be it financially, socially, or in any other way at all, at the expense or instead of the original culture or the native culture or the native voices? And that's really where it comes back to. So, you know, there's no problem with you experiencing kind of Irish mythology from an Irish kind of perspective, taking teaching from an Irish teacher who has grown up and lived in that kind of culture, of course. And you may be descended from Irish kind of culture, and so you're expressing and exploring parts of your own culture. But where someone then sets up their own kind of teaching about Irish culture without being part of Irish culture, instead of pointing back to the teachers in that culture or the practices of that culture, then they're setting themselves up to profit, either financially or it actually might be socially. They set themselves up as the expert in their area or the expert in that field and speak over the voices of those who live in that culture and express it. And it's not just Irish culture, it could be any culture at all. First Nations culture, like, Mexican culture, Spanish culture, any kind of culture all around the world. It's and that's why we're very careful about it ourselves. It's not for me to speak over native voices in any other culture, and that's the kind of respect that we appreciate from other people, to not speak over the experts in our own culture. And for the most part, all of our community get it, and they do it really, really well. But the problem then, or the challenge, is how do you give back? Because it is this right relationship. It's okay for you to explore Irish culture, to engage in it, to grow in it, but it is about that reciprocity. It's about, like, how do you direct energy back? And I'm not just talking about funds or money. It's not about that at all. Like, if you can, great, pay for the class. If not, take the free classes. And you know, how do you then give back from that? Well, leave a review, because that then helps someone else find the information that they might be looking for. Share it in the wild worlds of the internet to help other people kind of find their way better than we found it. Because, to be honest, folks, there's been so much fucking misinformation in there in the past that's been hard to try and get to real authentic kind of sources, and that's a big part of what we promote here. And not just our own sources, but like other sources where we can actually point at them where they exist in the world. We happily point on that. And the Irish Pagan School isn't just John and Laura's show. We have a number of other native Irish teachers who teach on a whole variety of topics, and so we elevate them wherever we can, because that is the root kind of core cultural sources and academic sources and magical practice sources. And that's what we want to do, to help people find the information that they're looking for. And with the rise of AI, it's great for some things, but we're probably looking at a tidal wave of misinformation, or, like, yeah, like readily sourced or mishmashed kind of content out there. We're already seeing it. There's a whole load of kind of books, neo-pagan books or spiritual books, that are hitting the market space that are generated by AI farms. And it's so fucking frustrating. So how? Again, back to our core point. How can someone, like, give back to Ireland without visiting Ireland? Well, it's about supporting native craftspeople, supporting native teachers. And that might be if you're purchasing, if you're spending on something, but again, it doesn't have to be all about money, you know? Raising reviews, like, pointing people to the information is a hugely beneficial kind of thing. If you do take any of our free resources, shoot us a message, send us an email. We use that to help other people find that information. Or whoever seeing this video, like, subscribe, share it with other people. All of that is to help people get to the resources that they're looking for. And all of that is showing an appreciation and engaging in a certain level of energetic reciprocity. But is it enough? Is it enough? Well, if you're looking for something more, I have a solution for you. And this is a pretty amazing one because for years now, Laura and I have been promoting the need for transcription work on Ireland's National Folklore Collection. And so what I'm talking about is a website called duchas.ie, and they're in there. There is the schools collection, and the schools collection was a whole lot of children sent home like a couple of decades back with copybooks to kind of collect the stories from the old people in their families or the old people in their areas. And so those copybooks are then digitized, photographs are taken and put into this archive. And a lot of the content was not transcribed. And so Laura has actually been for well over a decade now telling people to invest effort and energy there. If you want to give something back by helping transcribe those resources to make it accessible for future generations, to make it accessible for people to search the archive more readily, to access this information and these stories in a way that will make it searchable and make it more available for future generations. And now that archive is done. It is absolutely done. It's been kind of announced in the last year there that they have like pretty much 98% of that fully transcribed, which is amazing. If not, I think fully transcribed 100%. And so what they've actually been able to do now is to add in additional resources. And so they have more information being uploaded into that archive. There's also the Irish language sections of that archive where it's possible to, if anyone is comfortable or has any kind of information around it, you then transcribe the letters that you see on the screen and then translate the Irish words that are involved there. Now, this program has been just community driven, community led. And so it's pretty fucking awesome to be able to kind of have access to those stories. And that as a dedication, as an offering of energy and effort, is an example of how a person can give back to Ireland without going to Ireland. Again, if it is something that you can do for charity work or whatever, you can support Irish charities by donations, or again, raise their profile, raise awareness of it. If it's not something that you can engage in any direct practice, then explore like be curious about Ireland and Ireland's culture and Ireland's kind of political status, Ireland today, what Ireland is doing, what's going on in Ireland, and then raise the awareness of that in your own kind of way in your own countries. Because that then is directing energy and helping Ireland as a collective in that way. Um, for those people living in the United States, for example, your political decisions, your who you nominate and put in your positions of power can directly impact what happens on the island of Ireland. Because at the moment, like, we have an airport in Shannon, and there's an agreement between Ireland and the United States to allow for traffic to pass through Shannon, military traffic to pass through Shannon, and that is a very difficult one for us because Ireland is a neutral country. But what's happening is that stop-off points in Ireland are being used for military actions other places around the world, and that is a very, very difficult place to be put in, or position to be put in, as Irish people who espouse neutrality and defense forces as opposed to aggression forces. So who you politically put in place there could have a significant impact on Ireland and its own security and indeed its sovereignty. So being aware of what's going on and what's happening within the news and the media of Ireland, and then trying to find ways to align yourself and to support that. For example, Ireland's stance in regards to the conflict in Gaza is definitely 100% pro-Palestine, as it should be. Ireland has been a victim of oppression and assault and genocide and manufactured famine in the past. That's what's happening in Gaza at the moment. Way back when the Black and Tan forces that were sent to Ireland to put down the rebellious Irish by the English, when they were shifted out of Ireland, they were moved over to Palestine. And so they carried on with the same and some of the worst atrocities over there because of how they were trained here to kind of engage in that behavior. So educating yourself about it, being aware of what you can do, and if you value what you learn from the Irish pagan school and what you experience of Irish culture through us, then giving back isn't always a case of you have to go on pilgrimage to Ireland or you have to buy all of the classes and spend all of the money. It is about awareness, education, and energy. And that energy can be in the case of reciprocity, giving reviews, helping other people, liking, subscribing, sharing the videos to help other people, but then also aligning yourself with the ideologies, the cultural beliefs, and the stances that our people are taking here in Ireland, or at least being aware of them so that you can then decide for yourself where your alignment actually is. So thank you very much for the question. Really appreciate it. Look after yourself. And if you want to know more, all you got to do is go to the Irish Pagan School or irishpagan.school/free. We have a whole lot of free resources there, over a year's worth of teaching if you're to do one a week or a few every month. And there's a whole lot of content available there to you to explore. And it's just available for you to do. You don't have to pay anything. You can kind of grow and learn from it. But if you feel that you want to do more, if you feel like you want to show some reciprocity, you want to give back to Ireland, hopefully this video has given you some kind of insights and perceptions and steps for how you can go ahead and do that. So thank you very much for talking to me today, being with me for this talk today. Take care of yourself. And until next time, Slán. Goodbye.